Blood on white sheets has a way of changing a man forever. Daniel Harper woke before sunrise with the kind of dread that settles in the body before the mind can understand it. The apartment was quiet, the city outside, barely breathing. And beside him lay a woman who had trusted him at the worst possible moment of her life. When he stood up and saw the stain, small but unmistakable, his chest tightened. This was not fear of scandal, not panic about reputation or power. It was the realization that something pure had been placed in his hands, and he had not known how to hold it gently. Daniel Harper had built his life on control. At 38, he ran a mid-sized media company with calm precision, the kind that came from loss rather than ambition. 3 years earlier, his wife had died suddenly, leaving him to raise their daughter alone. Since then, his life had been reduced to systems, morning routines, school drop-offs, board meetings, bedtime stories. He did not allow chaos. He did not allow risk. Stability was how he survived, and for the most part, it was enough. Lena Moore arrived at his company quietly, the way some people move through the world without demanding attention. She worked in creative, rarely spoke unless she had something worth saying, and never asked for anything extra. Daniel noticed her not because she was loud, but because she was steady. He respected that. He kept his distance. Respect, after all, required boundaries. The year-end party broke those boundaries without asking permission. The city glittered through floor-to-ceiling windows. Music spilled into laughter, and people forgot who they were supposed to be. Daniel stayed cautious, one drink, polite smiles, ready to leave early for his daughter. Then he saw Lena on the balcony, pale and unsteady, loneliness written plainly across her face. He went to her not as a CEO, not as a man with authority, but as someone who knew what it felt like to be drowning quietly. When she asked him not to go, something cracked. A single decision, made in the space between duty and empathy, changed both their lives. The morning after, Daniel ran. He told himself it was the right thing. He told himself distance was protection. But every mile between them felt heavier than the last. At work, Lena became invisible in the most painful way. Professional, composed, silent. She didn't accuse him. She didn't cling. She simply erased herself from his emotional reach, and that quiet withdrawal hurt more than anger ever could. Rumors whispered through the halls like smoke, but Daniel said nothing, because saying anything would only burn her. When he finally confronted her, hoping to apologize, to carry the guilt alone, she refused to let him rewrite the story. She told him she had chosen. She told him she felt safe. Those words shattered something he had spent years fortifying. Safe was what his late wife had once called him. Safe was what he thought he had lost forever. Still, he chose fear. Fear dressed up as responsibility. Fear that pushed Lena further away until she stopped trying to stay. The weeks that followed revealed the truth he did not want to face. He was not protecting her. He was punishing both of them for daring to feel. He watched her become distant, watched himself grow smaller, quieter, more hollow. And then, in a moment that felt cruelly precise, his daughter drew a picture of a family that included Lena. Children see what adults hide. When the resignation letter appeared on his desk, the finality of it knocked the air from his lungs. Lena was leaving, choosing absence over being treated like a mistake. And for the first time since his wife died, Daniel did not freeze. He acted. He went to her door, voice breaking, pride abandoned, finally honest in a way control had never allowed him to be. He admitted fear. He admitted grief. He admitted that running had been easier than staying. Lena did not forgive him instantly. Healing never works that way. But she listened, and listening, Daniel learned, was the first step toward becoming someone worthy of trust again. They did not rush. They did not hide. Lena finished her notice, left the company with grace, and Daniel supported her publicly, professionally, without condition. Months passed. Boundaries remained. But slowly, carefully, something new grew between them. Not built on power or rescue, but on mutual choice. Daniel learned that redemption is not about undoing mistakes. It is about standing still long enough to face them. It is about choosing courage over control, vulnerability over silence, love over fear. And in time, Lena returned to his life, not as an employee, not as a secret, but as a partner. His daughter smiled again. His home felt warm. The nights were no longer something to endure. Some gifts arrive wrapped in mistakes. Some beginnings rise from endings we never planned. And sometimes, healing does not come from perfection, but from the bravery to say, "I was wrong, and I want to do better." If this story moved you, if it reminded you that growth is possible even after failure, then don't walk away quietly. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us. Because the stories that change us most are often the ones that teach us how to become human again.